Hello everyone, you're watching Veloci Midwest. My name is Austin, and I got a new camera, so I'm just kind of doing a camera test here. But I'd really like to point out that Hot Wheels is kind of being real with this one. Or maybe unreal with this one. If you can't see what it is, I'll just put a picture up. Yeah, I don't need to show you through the camera. This is a custom Pontiac Aztek, which means somebody at Hot Wheels was like, let's come up with a new Hot Wheel. Pontiac, we haven't done a Pontiac in a while. And let's give it like a cool wide body kit. Let's get some Fast and Furious vibes in there or something. And someone must have did a line of cocaine and was like, Aztek. Aztek, you know, everyone's favorite Walter White vehicle. Everyone kind of makes fun of the Aztek. It was a cool concept car back when it first debuted. And then it came out as a kind of mucked around production car. They had to change some things. They had to heighten the roof and all that. And I'd say this Hot Wheels is actually probably a little bit closer to the concept car. Part of the Hot Wheels modified line. It is 9 out of 10 new for 2024. Let's see, what does it say on the back? It says, born 2001, Detroit, Michigan. Knock on the door of creative design with this head-turning road beast. The GT racing details may grab attention, but it also features a whale tail rear wing, wide arches, and ground effect aerodynamics. It's an Aztek! Who thought of this for an Aztek? I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess. I mean, if anything, you could say this is what the Aztek needed. The Aztek, as I kind of started saying, for anyone who doesn't know, this was sort of a car-ish SUV type thing, which now we call a crossover, but this came out before anyone really knew what a crossover was. Or rather, there wasn't really like a defined term for that style of vehicle. You know, you either had an SUV, or you didn't. You had like a hatchback, a wagon, or something, or you had like a car with a high back. You didn't have something called the crossover yet. This really wasn't a well-known thing. The closest thing that came to a crossover before this was probably the AMC Eagle in its wagon variation. So some could argue that the Aztek was kind of ahead of its time. Maybe, I guess. And you know, it had some cool things, although I don't know if it was really meant for off-roading. It had like some off-road-ish kind of features, like you could put a tent in the back and that tent would come out, get rails for it, you could probably put off-road tires on it. It had that Pontiac boy racer kind of look to it that was going around in 2001 era time. And you know, yeah, it was interesting, but it was mostly ridiculed for its arguably perverse styling. Yeah, even I'd have to say, as someone who doesn't mind some relatively interestingly designed cars, the Aztek is definitely one of those interesting vehicle, even really by my standards. Which, my standards are pointless. And perhaps, even like my video editing skills, poor. We got a Sparko label on here, we got a K&N. Apparently this is wearing Yokohama's. That's a beefed out Aztek. This is a beefed out Aztek. You know, I remember I saw the Motor Trend vehicle, or I'm sorry, Motor Week. I saw the Motor Week retro review video not too long ago, and it's funny. The only thing he really said in that video about the styling was that it was striking. It's like the whole video kind of had like this sort of type of vibe to it. I don't know if they're being paid by Pontiac. Usually their reviews seem a little impartial. But this particular one, they were going over every feature this vehicle had and barely touching upon anything that even sounded all that negative. And they never really talked about the styling. Normally they bring up the styling, but this one they just said it was striking. They didn't want to say anything bad about it. Maybe they didn't want to, maybe because it was so striking, they didn't know if they wanted to condemn it or support it, because they didn't know maybe how the viewership would react. They didn't know what the viewership's opinion was. Maybe it was one of those cars where it's so controversial looking, you just don't dare give an opinion on it. Now, behind me here, I have a, where is it? Did I set it down? It's right here, actually. This is a brochure for Pontiac from 1986, and I kind of have to wonder, when they were doing this, because this has got stuff in like 1986 Fiero, the SE with some changes, when the SE adopted the GT body style, and the GT got a new body style. You know, the new Grand Am, which was kind of like they're trying to be more like a European sports car. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is pretty sick looking. If you're into weird retro stuff like that, I just kind of have to wonder: did Pontiac ever see themselves making the Aztek? I kind of doubt it. Obviously, SUVs were getting more and more in vogue around that point. Ford kind of even tried to kind of like tame the Bronco, you could say, by coming out with the Bronco 2 during the late 80s. Like, here's a smaller Bronco, a little tamer. Then the Ford Explorer came out, and you know, it was still very SUV, very trucky, but it was starting to get tamed a little bit, you know, a little more car-like. And then the Aztek came out kind of before everyone started doing the crossover thing, but it didn't really take long. You know, I think Subaru already had like the Outback out, which was technically a wagon, yes, but that was also probably a very early idea of what the crossover would be becoming. So it's interesting, really. All I can say, I guess now about the Pontiac Aztek Hot Wheel, maybe some guy at Hot Wheels was like, you know, I kind of had a soft spot for the Aztek. You know, much in the same way maybe like guys who worked at AMC during the day had a soft spot for like the Pacer and the Gremlin, which, you know, a lot of people kind of thought were ugly looking. But, you know, some people really liked those cars because they were working on them. You know, people from the area really liked them. And maybe someone was like, yeah, you know what? I liked the Aztek. You know, I don't care what anyone says. I liked the Aztek is maybe what this designer was thinking for Hot Wheels. Now, maybe like they were aware of some of the memes, you know, it was kind of becoming a bit of a meme car, is still kind of a meme car, especially because everyone was recognizing it now as Walter White's car from Breaking Bad. And maybe they were like, you know what, this is cool. The Aztek kind of has an ironic like about it, but maybe they just didn't want to do like a regular Aztek, so they're like, what if we did a goofy Fast and Furious Aztek? And that's what they did. They did a goofy Fast and Furious Aztek, which means I think the only way forward past this particular car is now someone has to buy an Aztek. Give it a little bit of a wide body kit now. Yeah. Get what engine was in this thing? I don't remember. Do an LS swap in Aztek. Get it some coilovers, race suspension, big exhibit speakers, and a fish tank in the back, and this rest of this insane body kit. Anyways, this is kind of just a little test video I'm running with my camera, but I thought I'd talk about something while I kind of fix with my camera settings and try to figure out what I'm even doing with the little webcam here. That's what I got, a little Logitech here. I don't really know much about videography or anything. Most of my videos have not involved me on the camera, save for my shorts, which I film with a cell phone and a couple of and GoPros and a couple other things like that. So this is a little different content. I do have some other longer form videos planned if people are interested in seeing those. I want to focus a lot on like Wisconsin auto history, but for right now, just kind of playing around with the camera with the microphone here, which I recently found out, get this, a handful of my older videos, I was trying to record with this microphone, and only recently, when I was started working on my little car review shorts, I noticed that I had never actually swapped over the mic input settings to this microphone. It means I thought the mic just was kind of a low quality Amazon mic that didn't have amazing sound. Turned out I just simply wasn't recording with this microphone at all for a good number of those videos that I posted. They were all recorded with, save for a couple that I recorded with a handheld microphone where I took the audio off of it. I ended up recording a lot of stuff with either just my cell phone audio, unknowingly, or I recorded with the laptop audio, or the laptop mic, the built-in laptop mic. So my mistake on those. I know the sound quality and the sound mixing on some of those videos aren't incredibly good. I'm not very good with sound mixing. I was kind of just relying on the equipment that I had, and I kind of screwed up on those. So hopefully going forward we'll have better sound quality with the videos. And in my short videos too, if you've been watching, I've been using a little lapel mic in a couple now. So I'm trying to upgrade a lot of the quality, the video quality. I'm trying to upgrade the sound quality, obviously stuff like editing. Even this video here, I'm not really liking how it's cropped. I have to figure out a couple settings here. Trying to figure out, should I talk with like a background? Should I get like a green screen thing going on? I don't know. Kind of setting up a bunch of stuff, just kind of seeing where it goes. Yeah, little lighting things. I gotta work on lighting too. I got a little box light over there, I have a lamp over there. I got windows over there, which trying to adjust how much light I can bring in through there. I might have to get a sheet there, and maybe reposition myself so this mic, because I just turned away looking that way, still speaking. The audio is probably going to sound differently now, so I gotta maybe figure out a better way to do the mic thing here, find another place to set it up. I could probably set it up on this little table my laptop is sitting on. Normally I have my laptop sitting on this desk, actually. So yeah, stay tuned. There'll be more content.